Thank you, Chief Secretary Dr. Muswere, members of the Fourth Estate. Today, Cabinet discussed a number of items. The first item was presented by the Minister of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development, Honorable Dr. Jongwe Masuka, who presented an update on the summer crops and tobacco marketing, which was adopted by Cabinet. Cabinet would like to inform the nation that the country produced 2.5 million metric tons of maize and traditional grains during the 2022 to 2023 season, and Zimbabwe consumes 2.2 million metric tons of maize or traditional grains. Cabinet wishes to assure the nation that there will be enough grain before the commencement of the next maize or traditional grains intake in April 2024, with stocks are at 247,371 metric tons as at 28 January 2024, which will last 11 months at a monthly drawdown rate of 21,000 metric tons. Regarding the summer crops marketing update, the nation is advised that the private sector bought 526,000 metric tons of the 2022 to 2023 summer crops, whilst the Grain Marketing Board purchased 210,000 metric tons. The Grain Marketing Board intake constituted 39% market share for all the marketed crops. Pertaining to tobacco, a total of 36.8 million kilograms have been exported this year at an average price of US $7.33 per kilogram, compared to the 11.6 million kilograms exported over a similar period in the year 2023 at an average price of US $4.31 per kg. As the nation may recall, from a production of 296 million kilograms under the Second Republic, 236 million kilograms of tobacco worth 1.2 billion United States dollars was subsequently exported in the year 2023, and most of the tobacco sold in 2024 is destined for the Far East, Africa, the Middle East, and European Union markets. A total of 88 million kilograms of seed cotton were marketed as at 25 January 2024, compared to the 55 million kilograms sold over a corresponding period in the year 2023. Cabinet considered and noted the update on the preparations for the 2023-2024 summer season, which was presented by the Minister of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development, Honorable Dr. A.J. Masuka. The nation is informed that a total of 3 million hectares was planted in terms of crops during the 2023-2024 summer season, and out of the targeted 3.6 million of the total planted area, 1.6 million hectares was planted in terms of maize, and 362,541 hectares for sorghum, 141,169 hectares for pure millet, and 271,823 hectares for groundnuts. a cumulative 2,283,000 metric tons of maize and 2,271,623 metric tons of traditional grains is expected from the planted area. A total of 11 million plots, which are equivalent to 744,588 hectares, had been prepared under the climate-proof presidential Pfumbudza Intwasa program by the 20th of November 2023, compared to 5,867,292 plots, equivalent to 366,706 hectares that had been prepared by the 21st of November 2022, and 4,602,000 plots equivalent to 287,640 hectares by the 19th of November 2021. This is a reflection that farmers are adopting the recommended climate proofing interventions, especially during the El Nino conditions. The nation is further being assured that there is adequate water for irrigation, with the national dam storage level at 84.8% as at the 1st of February 2024. Cabinet also wishes to advise the public that the 31% reduction in water charges for farmers has since been effected as directed. The Minister of Health and Childcare, Honorable Dr. Douglas Mombeshora, updated Cabinet on the cholera outbreak situation and detailed as follows: that the cholera cases are on a decrease in Zimbabwe, and the Ministry of Health and Childcare continues to institute control measures that include the distribution of water treatment chemicals at the point of use, training of water point committees, demonstrations on hand washing, setting up oral rehydration points, engagement with religious leadership, and awareness and health education. The ministry also received 60,000 liters of intravenous fluids, tents, and other cholera supplies from the United Nations Children's Emergency Fund in the previous week as part of the control measures against the disease. In light of the cholera cases, the priority actions for the next 12 weeks are focused primarily on Harare and Chitungwiza, and they include some of the interventions such as oral cholera vaccine deployment to the targeted hotspots, procurement of cholera response medicines, supplies and commodities, the mobilization of additional funding to support the cholera response at national level and subnational level for optimal and comprehensive response to the outbreak, and support for the implementation of the integrated community strategy in order to optimize access to safe water and sanitation. Other initiatives will include applying the concept of clean cities and environment by prioritizing deployment of law enforcement agents to remove all food vendors from undesignated areas in all suburbs, to supervise the removal of refuse from areas where this has been dumped, and to make sure that this dump does not pile up again, and also to monitor and hold gatherings for religious and funeral purposes in other non-hotspots until the situation normalizes. Cabinet considered and approved the MOU between the Republics of Zimbabwe and Botswana on cooperation to combat cross-border livestock rustling, which was presented by the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Honorable Ziambi, as the chairperson of the Cabinet Committee on Legislation. The nation is informed that the MOU aims to establish a legal framework for cooperation between the republics of Zimbabwe and Botswana in order to harmonize efforts on combating livestock rustling and any other associated crimes. This initiative also desires to maintain the historic ties between the parties through cooperation whilst respecting national sovereignty. Cabinet considered and approved the MOU between the republics of Zimbabwe and Botswana on immigration cooperation, which was also presented by the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Honorable Ziambi, as the chairperson of the Cabinet Committee on Legislation. The MOU also seeks to ensure that there is cooperation in the area of immigration by both parties, born out of mutual belief that cooperation will foster stability and prosperity. The Memorandum of Understanding aims to establish a legal framework for cooperation of both parties in immigration matters. The areas of cooperation include facilitation of movement of persons, anti-human trafficking and smuggling, capacity building, harmonization of immigration-related laws and policies, and the establishment of a one-stop border post, among other issues. Cabinet considered and approved the memorandum on the private member's death penalty abolition bill, which was presented by the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Honorable Ziambi. The nation is informed that a private member's bill was introduced in the National Assembly, and its main purpose was to abolish the death penalty in Zimbabwe through the amendment to the Criminal Law Code and the Criminal Procedure and Evidence Act. Following the ongoing debates locally, regionally, and internationally on whether or not the death penalty should be abolished, the government of Zimbabwe, through the Ministry of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, conducted countrywide grassroots consultations in 30 districts of Zimbabwe, 3 districts per person per each of the 10 provinces, after which a report was produced. From these consultations, critical comments and views were expressed for and against the death penalty. Cabinet approved the abolition of the death penalty and agreed that the circumstances attracting death penalty options include where the murder is committed against a prison or police officer or minor or pregnant woman, or it is committed in the course of other serious crimes, or where there is premeditation. In view of the need to retain the deterrent element in the sentencing of murderers, it is expected that the new law will impose lengthy sentences without violating the right to life. The existence of aggravating circumstances may attract life sentences. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Honorable Frederick Shava, reported on the 19th non-aligned movement and the 3rd South Summit, which was held in Kampala, Uganda, from the 19th to the 20th of January 2024. The nation is informed that His Excellency the President, Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, attended the 19th Summit of Heads of State and Government of the Non-Aligned Movement, which was held under the theme Deepening Cooperation for Shared Global Affluence. During the summit, His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, assumed chairmanship of the movement for the period 2024 to 2027. President Yoweri Museveni would be guided by a vision that would foster a stronger and united non-aligned movement that contributes to a better world for all. The summit adopted the final Kampala Outcome Document, and the Kampala Declaration and the NAM Declaration on Palestine. The final Kampala Outcome Document covered global, political, regional, and sub-regional issues, particularly the developments in the Middle East, Africa, Asia, Latin America, and the Caribbean. It also noted the successful holding of harmonized elections in Zimbabwe in August 2023 and acknowledged the efforts of the Second Republic in accelerating the attainment of Vision 2030. Delegations expressed their unwavering support to the Palestine people, while the Foreign Minister of the State of Palestine thanked the non-aligned movement for its unwavering solidarity. His Excellency the President acknowledged and expressed gratitude to NAM member states for their support in the call for the removal of the unjust and unilateral sanctions imposed on Zimbabwe by some countries. Cabinet received and adopted the report on the participation of His Excellency the President of the Republic of Congo, His Excellency Felix Tshisekedi Chilombo, at the inauguration ceremony, which was presented by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Honorable Dr. Shava. The nation is informed that the well-attended and peaceful ceremony was also attended by the presidents of South Africa, Zambia, Mozambique, Tanzania, Malawi, Angola, and also Zimbabwe. In his inauguration speech, President Tshisekedi called for a more united, stronger, and prosperous Congo. Cabinet received the report on His Excellency the President's attendance at the Italy-Africa Summit as presented by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Honorable Dr. Frederick Chava. The nation is informed that His Excellency the President, Dr. Idi Mnangagwa, led a delegation to the Italy-Africa Summit from the 28th to the 30th of January 2024. The summit was held under the theme, A Bridge for Common Growth. The objective of the summit was for the Italian Prime Minister to present Italy's strategic plan of cooperation with Africa and to increase economic cooperation in several sectors for the benefit of both Africa and Italy. The development model, called the Mattei Plan, named after Enrico Mattei, the founder of the Italy's energy company, seeks to transform Italy into Europe's gateway for energy from Africa. The plan also seeks to increase investment into Africa so as to curb illegal migration to Europe. In his keynote address during the Food and Security session, the President, Dr. Idi Mnangagwa, highlighted the importance of food security for safeguarding Africa's stability. He underscored the need for the continent to be food secure first as part of the measures to address socio-economic and political stability, and to ensure that sustained economic growth and prosperity is championed. The President stressed the significance of empowering communal and smallholder farmers as well as women and youths who form the backbone of agriculture in countries such as Zimbabwe. His Excellency the President, Dr. Idi Mnangagwa, also held bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the Italy-Africa Summit with the Director General of the Food and Agriculture Organization, Dr. Dongi, and the Executive Director of World Food Programme. Cabinet also received a report on His Excellency the President, Dr. Idi Mnangagwa's visit to Switzerland from the 30th to the 31st of January 2024 at the invitation of the Mabetex Group, which was presented by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Dr. Frederick Shava. The nation is informed that His Excellency the President, Dr. Idi Mnangagwa, held a meeting with the executive management of the Mabetex Group, which also included the owner, Mr. Piccoli, at the company's headquarters. The Mabetex Group's investment portfolio includes construction of major infrastructural projects such as airports, hotels, and conference facilities. Cabinet expressed deep sadness over the passing on of the Namibian president on Sunday, 4 February 2024. His Excellency the President, Comrade Dr. Idi Mnangagwa, sent a message of condolence to the then acting Namibian President, His Excellency Nangolo Mbumba. I thank you.